I'm Torrin Gatterstedt.
And I'm Perry Lee.
And welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Awful.
Where we taste foods that are good for you.
The ones that are bad, but delicious.
And the ones that are just plain awful. First we'll try the good, which will be celery. A very healthy vegetable that has all kinds of benefits. It burns calories, protects against inflammation, and over 10 natural nutrients.
Alright, first up, celery. It's not that fresh.
Tastes tangy.
Tangy? Today, for the bad, we will be trying Crunch and Munch. It comes in multiple flavors, including toffee, caramel, and the new sweet and salty. First produced and distributed commercially in 1966 by the Franklin Nut Company. You will find 130 calories per serving out of 5 servings in this box. Now for the bad. Oh. That is really good.
That is really good.
I could eat this for hours.
And the awful. Today we will be trying wasabi, also referred to as Japanese horseradish, which naturally grows in the mountainous rivers of Japan, commonly used as condiments on sushi and other Japanese cuisines.
I'm just gonna dig in and... Oh my... Go! Oh my goodness, how can you handle that?
It probably makes the celery taste better.
I'm Torrin Gatterstedt,
And I am Perry Lee,
and thanks for watching The Good, the Bad, and the Awful.
and we'll see you next week.
Hello and welcome to Decent Exposure. I'm Kyle Tappa,
And I'm Caitlin Klein.
and together we are going to expose decent things decently. How are you doing today, Caitlin?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Before we start our show, how about we educate our audience on what our show is about?
Sure thing.
All right, for you lovely viewers at home and on the interwebs, our show is basically a movie review, but it's a little bit more than that. What we do is we each take 2 movies, one that came out within the year and one an indie film that we really, really liked, and we give it a rating. The ratings are buy it, pass on it, or rent it. And that's basically just to tell you as the viewers whether or not the movie sucks or it doesn't suck. And one thing else that we do is we'll mention a musician or a band that we think needs some exposure for you lovely people. So let's say we get started.
But
All right, so what was your big movie?
my bigger movie was The Lord's Home, which is about a radio DJ who gets a record in the mail from Lords of Salem, and she listens to it, and it starts to affect her. She starts to have visions and dreams.
Wow, that sounds trippy. All right, my bigger movie, the one that came out within the year, is called Only God Forgives. It stars Ryan Gosling, and he plays a character named Julian, who owns a fighting club over in Bangkok, and his brother gets killed. And so his mom comes over for the funeral and wants him to get revenge, but he's starting to think, my brother was kind of a jerk, so I didn't really want to do it. So it's just basically a revenge flick, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So what was your indie film?
My indie film was Sleepwalk with Me, which
Okay,
is
okay.
part based on this guy's life for a while, and then it's part him reflecting back on that.
Okay, so it was like he lived his life, then he basically
Yeah.
flashes back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right, my indie film is entitled Jeff Who Lives at Home. As you guess, it's about Jeff who lives at home with his mother in her basement, and it all starts with him needing to go to Home Depot, but events happen and he starts following everything that has to do with the name Kevin. And you'd be surprised how many names are out there named Kevin. So it's basically a soul-searching movie about Jeff finding out who he is, what he's supposed to do in life, and it's a very touching film. I would strongly recommend it. So, Caitlin, what do you rate your movies?
Lords of Salem, just in general, I'd give it Rent. But if you're a fan of Rob Zombie's work, then definitely a buy.
Okay,
and then
cool.
Sleepwalk with Me, have to give that one a buy too.
All right, cool. So we got a rent/buy, depending on who you are, and then we got another buy. All right, my two films, Only God Forgives, I'm gonna give a pass on. It was a very ambitious film. I can understand what he was trying to do with it, but it just was executed poorly. It was a very slow movie, so it was, definitely a pass. But Jeff Who Lives at Home, I strongly recommend that you buy it. And if you can't buy it, then rent it or find some way to watch it because it's a very, very good movie from every aspect of filmmaking. All right, so now is the time of the show where we introduce our musician/band that we think needs some exposure. Caitlin, what is your band?
My band is Dead and Divine. They're a metal band. The big downfall with them is that they broke up.
Oh man, I hate when that happens. The band that you love, that you just found out, breaks up. It's a tear shedder, single tear.
The worst.
Seriously. All right. Well, my band is a metal band called Monuments. They are very groovy, but they're also very heavy. Definitely check them out if you like bands like Meshuggah or Periphery. Definitely check them out. They're very good and highly underrated in my opinion. All right, that's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you have any movies, bands, or musicians that you want us to expose, just email us at decentexposure@gmail.com.
Isn't Decent Exposure 3?
Yeah, there was problems with the... God, yeah, it's a 3 at the end. Get off my back, okay? I'm Kyle.
I'm Caitlin.
And you've just been exposed decently. You have a good life, everyone.
Hello and welcome to the first show of Impact Point with your host, Jordan Ryan.
And I'm Samuel Holford. Today we have an exciting show for you, including Packer News, a special segment we like to call The Dirt. And of course, your weekly dose of our choice of a weird and wacky sport.
Hey, how's it going? This is your weekly blitz and it will feature various sporting news including the NFL, NBA, and MLB. The Packers played a weird game on Sunday afternoon against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals scored 2 quick touchdowns in the first half, and actually one came over a fumble after a kickoff from Jeremy Ross. This guy has to go. I mean, he just keeps losing us games. The Packers went on to score 30 unanswered points, but by the end of it, it was not enough as the Bengals came roaring back with 20 of their own to put away the game. Rodgers threw for 244 yards, but he included 2 interceptions, which broke his NFL record of most games without 2 or more interceptions.
All right, let's brush some dirt off these sports. For years now, players have been going out and drinking all night, and then they get the good idea, hey, let's drive home. Eldon Smith from the San Francisco 49ers thought it was a good idea to do this on Friday. And then he came out with a press release and said for an undisclosed amount of games, he would not be available to play. I'll try to keep you up on this story coming soon.
Alright, getting weird now. This segment is all about sports and games that people play all around the world that you won't see every day. This week we have underwater hockey. I mean, right? The first time we saw it, I was like, okay. But then once I watched a video of it, it looked actually really fun.
It's also known as its other name, Octopush. It's actually really similar to hockey. 2 of 6 teams push a puck along the bottom of the pool, but the puck is way heavier, so it stays on the bottom of the pool. Most of the time, players can wear snorkels, but they have to come up for air all the time. You gotta check that out.
Alright, well this concludes the first episode of Impact Point. Remember to tune in next week for an all-new show filled with gossip, sports news, and the weird and wacky.
Welcome to this week's episode of Uncovered. This week, we're talking to one of the cafeteria staff to gain an insight into what it takes to feed the students of NWTC.
We're open. Breakfast opens up at 7. We run a full breakfast menu till 10:30. At 10:30, we switch over to lunch. Then the morning crew's out by 2:30, and the late night crew stays until 6, which is when we close the door. There are 3 certified chefs, including myself. We've got me, we have the director who's a chef, and the actual chef who does all the cooking for the cafeteria. We've also got several managers with a couple underlings, just with people that are, been doing the job for enough number of years. We did 1 volunteer last week for catering. We were short people, just tight on staff. We get all right with the little caterings, but when we start hitting like a 500, 600 person, open to all you students, free food kind of thing, we get a little bit snugger. A lot of people do more multitasking. We do have a set menu. Our director is pretty good about getting them. I think he's already into next year, February, due to the fact that a lot of our caterings do order off our regular menu to make it easier on us. And that way they don't have to be looking through our entire catering sheet going, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? They just look on their sheet and go, well, I want my event on Tuesday. They're having chicken. I want chicken. So, we just make a little extra, so it does make it easier on us since they do order a lot that way.
What's behind this door? Secret classroom, storage room, teacher's lounge? Check back next week to find out what's behind this door, along with another behind-the-scenes look at NWTC. This has been Uncovered.
Your complete guide for all the exotic and unique food findings in the Green Bay area. I'm Austin Deming.
And I'm Linda Gonzalez.
I'm Robert Maloney.
And this is Food Ventures. Hi, I'm Austin, and I'll be your host for this show, which is called Food Ventures. During our show, we are going to explore some of the different cultural eateries Green Bay has to offer, such as Little Tokyo, Nukio Thai, the Mandarin Garden, Feda's Bistro and Lounge, and more. And for each episode of our show, we are going to focus on a specific restaurant, and for each of those restaurants we visit, we are going to give you a brief background of the food they generally serve, what they think is like their house dish, and then we'll taste what's considered to be like the most exotic or bizarre dish on the menu, and then we'll give our opinion of what we think the food tastes like and if you should go and try it yourself. And sorry this episode was kind of taken up by the whole us introducing ourselves, so we didn't really have time to focus on a specific restaurant, but join us next week and we'll have some good food to try and maybe some good info to share with you on one of the restaurants. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Food Ventures. Join us next week where we'll meander on over to Nukio Thai and indulge in some of the fine delicacies they have to offer. I'm Austin Deming, and this is Food Ventures.
Hello everyone and welcome to the How To segment. This week we will be teaching you how to procrastinate. No procrastination session is complete without scavenging for food, and indecisiveness takes up even more time. Do I want the Nature Valley or the Nutter Butter? I'm more me when I have the Snickers. Could go with the Twix. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be here all night. Can't decide.
Oh, I know, right? It's like the 3rd week of school, and I haven't even started any of my projects.
Your friends can be great distractions for you. Just make sure you don't tell them you're supposed to be doing something else instead of talking to them.
I know, right? Hang on 1 second. I have a text message. Oh man, she is too funny. LOL, OMG, ha ha. Not really. Okay, I'm back.
Social media is one of the most common procrastination techniques used today. So just sit there and scroll along.
Set a specific time to start your task. And if you go off by even a minute, wait until the next hour to start it and give another try.
I got plenty of time before I have to study.
All of these should help you accomplish your goal of procrastinating. Good luck, and remember to forget about that test.